Welcome to Romans 9:20. Hi everyone, I'm Ronald, and I am so thrilled to welcome you back to the channel. If you're new here, a huge shout out and welcome to our ever-growing family. We're all about diving deep into God's Word, making it easy to understand, and seeing how it applies to our everyday lives. Before we jump into today's incredible teaching, here's a fun fact for you. Did you know that the entire book of Deuteronomy is essentially one long sermon? It's Moses right before the Israelites entered the promised land, giving them a powerful pep talk and a reminder of everything that God has done for them. It's like the ultimate remember where you came from speech, packed with wisdom and crucial lessons for their future. And that's exactly where we're going to explore today as we open up Deuteronomy chapters 1 and 2. Get ready to uncover some powerful truths about God's faithfulness, our choices, and the journey of faith. Now, Deuteronomy chapters 1 and 2 are a journey of remembrance and readiness. These two chapters serve as a powerful recap of Israel's journey from Mount Horeb, also known as Sinai, to the edge of the Promised Land. Moses, speaking to a new generation, vividly recounts the highs and lows, the moments of faith, and the painful consequences of disobedience. It's a story of God's unwavering presence, even when his people faltered, and a testament to his meticulous guidance. There are three main events and themes of chapter 1. First, the command to move forward. Moses reminds them of God's initial command at Horeb to leave the mountain and take possession of the land that he had promised to their ancestors. Second, the appointed leaders. He recalls the practical wisdom of delegating judicial responsibility to ease his burden, highlighting the importance of fair and wise leadership. And third, the spies and their rebellion. This is a pivotal moment. The sending of the 12 spies, their fearful report, and the people's subsequent rebellion and refusal to enter the land, leading to God's judgment of 40 years of wandering in the wilderness. Now let's break down chapter 1. Verses 1 to 3, Moses addresses all Israel in the wilderness. He notes the 11-day journey from Horeb to Kadesh Barnea, and he delivers God's command in the 40th year of their exodus. Moses sets the stage, speaking to the nation 40 years after their journey began. He highlights how quickly they could have reached the promised land. It's 11 days to Kadesh Barnea had they not rebelled, emphasizing the long consequences of their disobedience. Verses 4 to 8, Moses recalls recent victories over Sihon and Og. God then commands Israel at Horeb to leave the mountain and enter the promised land as he declared that he had already given them the land sworn to their ancestors. So Moses reminds them of God's command to leave and to take possession of the vast land already promised to them. Now, this emphasizes God's readiness to fulfill his promises and his call for them to move forward. Verses 9 to 18, Moses explains that he couldn't bear the people's burdens alone due to their vast numbers, so he instructs them to choose wise and respected leaders. These appointed judges were to judge fairly and impartially to help govern the growing nation. This highlights the importance of good, fair, and impartial leadership within the community, reflecting God's desire for justice among his people. In verses 19 to 33, Israel reaches Kadesh Barnea, the entry point to the promised land, and the people are requested to send spies to explore the land first. Despite a good report, the peoples rebelled due to fear of giants and fortified cities. So Moses tried to reassure them of God's power and past provision, but they did not trust him. This is the pivotal moment of rebellion. Now, despite God's command and Moses' reassurance, the people chose fear over faith after hearing the spies report about giants and fortified cities. They grumbled, accused God, and refused to enter the land, demonstrating a profound lack of trust in God's power and faithfulness. Verses 34 to 46, God declared that the rebellious generation, except Caleb and Joshua, would not enter the land. Even Moses was forbidden from entering the land due to their rebellion. When the people tried to fight after God forbade it, they were defeated. They wept, but God did not listen, and they remained in Kadesh for a long time. God's judgment was clear. The rebellious generation would not enter the promised land. Their panicked attempt to fight after being forbidden by God led to a crushing defeat. Now, this section powerfully illustrates the severe consequences of disobedience and the futility of trying to act in our own strength when God has given a different command. Now, moving on to chapter 2. The main theme and events are first the wilderness wanderings. Now, Moses recounts the long journey through the wilderness, emphasizing God's provision and specific instructions to avoid conflict with the descendants of Esau or Edom, Moab, and Ammon, as God had already given those lands to them. And second, the conquest begins. The chapter culminates with Israel's first major victory over Sihon, king of Heshbon, marking the beginning of their conquests of the land east of the Jordan. Now, Deuteronomy chapter 2, verses 1 to 7, Israel turns back into the wilderness wandering around Mount Seir. God then instructs them to pass peaceably through the territory of Esau's descendants, Edom. They were forbidden from taking Edomite land as God had given it to Esau. God affirms his provision, stating Israel lacked nothing during their 40 years. Now, this highlights God's sovereign control over nations and his continued provision for Israel, even during their period of consequence. Verses 8 to 15, Israel passed by Edom and then Moab. Now, God similarly forbade them from harassing Moab or taking their land, which was given to Lot's descendants. Moses notes God had previously cleared out giants from these nations. Now, this section also marks a somber fulfillment of God's judgment. 38 years had passed, and the entire rebellious generation had died in the wilderness. Verses 16 to 23, with the old generation gone, God gave instructions regarding their path. They were forbidden from harassing the Ammonites, also descendants of Lot, or from taking their land. Now, God reiterates the command to respect the boundaries of the Ammonites, reinforcing his plan for each nation. Moses again provides historical examples of God's clearing out of the inhabitants for other peoples, demonstrating again God's consistent power and sovereignty over all lands. Now, in the final verses of chapter 2, verses 24 to 37, God commands Israel to cross the Arnon Gorge and begin conquering Sihon, king of Heshbon. God promises to instill fear of Israel in all nations and even made Sihon stubborn to ensure his defeat. Israel's victory, after a peaceful request for passage was denied, demonstrates God's fighting for his obedient people and fulfilling his promises to give them the land. Now, this contrasts sharply with their earlier defeat due to disobedience. The central message of Deuteronomy's chapter 1 and 2 is a profound reminder of God's unwavering faithfulness despite human failure and the critical importance of obedience and trust in his plan. We see the severe consequences of disobedience and unbelief leading to a 40-year wandering and lost opportunities. The central message of Deuteronomy chapter 1 and 2 is a profound reminder of God's unwavering faithfulness despite human failure and the critical importance of obedience and trust in his plan. We see the severe consequences of disobedience and unbelief leading to 40 years of wandering and lost opportunities. Yet even in that time of consequence, God remained faithful, providing for his people and guiding them. We also learn about God's sovereignty over the nations and his meticulous guidance, even down to respecting the boundaries of other people. So how can this apply to our modern society today? First, trust in God's direction. Just as God told Israel, you have stayed long enough at this mountain, he often tells us it's time to move forward in faith, even when the path ahead seems daunting. Do we trust his leading, or do we let fear and doubt make us hesitate? Second, the cost of disobedience. The 40 years in the wilderness are a powerful reminder that our choices have consequences. Disobedience and unbelief can lead to delays, detours, and missed blessings in our lives. It's a call to honest self-reflection. Are we rebelling against God's clear commands in any area? And third, God's provision and patience. Even during their wanderings, God provided for Israel, ensuring they lacked nothing. This shows his incredible patience and faithfulness. Even when we face consequences for our mistakes, God's grace and provision are still there. Fourth, respecting boundaries. God's command to respect the territories of Edom, Moab, and Ammon teaches us about respecting others, their property, and their space. It's a lesson in living peaceably and understanding that God has a plan for everyone. And finally, the fifth takeaway for us today, learning from history. Moses recounts these events so that the new generation wouldn't repeat the mistakes of the past. Now, we too can learn from experiences of others, both good and bad, and apply those lessons to our lives and communities. These chapters are a powerful call to remember God's goodness, to trust him completely and to walk in obedience, knowing that he is always working for our good, will fight for us when we align with his will. Now, that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. I hope this deep dive in Deuteronomy chapters 1 and 2 has given you a clearer understanding of these powerful scriptures and how they can speak to our lives today. If any part of this teaching has touched you, please do me a favor and hit the like button. Leave a comment with your biggest takeaway or any questions that you might have. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Don't forget to subscribe to Romans 9:20 and to ring the notification bell so that you're ready for our next teaching in this incredible book. So until next time, keep seeking God's word and walking in his amazing truth.